Well, what is going on, everyone? Welcome back to Kitchen Table TCG. My name is Louie, and I hope you're having yourself a fantastic day. Today, I want to talk about Kryptik TCG, and particularly want to talk a little bit about spoiler season and why I absolutely love the design space that Kryptik is in. I'm going to try to give you a lot of my thoughts. This is really going out to my Discord server, who the Game Grove Discord server has been absolutely every day talking about the spoilers, and I've had a lot of thoughts on this particular card, and I don't really know how to type it out, so I'm gonna try to do a video. I'll just share it there too. But you know, it's really cool to see a community growing around this game, and locally we have anywhere from 8 to 15 players on a Saturday morning at noon at Game Grove in West Virginia. So if you're a Kryptik fan, you can make it out, come on down. But it's been really fun to watch people learn games and play this. And I want to talk about the design space for a little bit, because I think that spoiler season has shown us how cool Kryptik's design space is. If you're not familiar with Kryptik, the way that this works, you can see this Wyland here. I'll zoom in on Wyland for you, or we'll use Sven. The way that Sven works, Sven costs a white and a blue soul energy. That's what that is, to cast Sven. But Sven can also be used as a land or as a resource, or as you can put him into your soul row, and he taps as basically a dual land. This one card works for both things. And that design space, and I've always said this, has generated a lot of really cool deck building things where you get to make decisions based on not only what the card does, but what it taps for and what it's going to generate for you. And there's a lot of metrics involved in figuring out the optimal way to build your deck. Now, I've played this deck for 6 months now. This is the only deck I've ever played for Kryptik. It's what I love. It's aggro humans. I am trying to win as fast as possible, and anything that slows me down from attacking you or winning is going to be detrimental to me. If you attack me, you're actually helping me because you're giving me cards. The way Kryptik works, you don't have health. You have a row of 11-year cards, and when they get blown up, it's like you lose life, but those cards go to your hand or you can play them. And so when you attack me, you don't want to attack me until I'm out of cards and I'm out of things to do. So one of the things I've always found in this particular deck is that the blue resource just doesn't do it for me, particularly because I want to play Orpheus as soon as possible. As soon as I possibly can, I want to be putting Orpheus down on the battlefield in order to when it enters the battlefield and when it attacks, it engages one of your citizens, which allows me to get, on turn 2, I can get through your blocker pretty easily. On turn 3, I can get through one of your blockers, or I can play, God forbid, if I play another Orpheus, I now can get through 2 of your blockers. And it allows me to get that damage as soon as possible. But Orpheus taps for 2 white, which is really difficult to do. I've kind of done the analytics of this deck. Hold on a second, my kid's coming in. I've done the... Yeah, okay. I've done the analytics of this deck, and this has 29 white pips for soul energy, and it's got 25 blue pips for soul energy. So it's about 50-50. And I've always said if I could get rid of some of the blue, I would be more efficient at getting this Orpheus out on turn 2. And a lot of the white, if you actually take away some of the cards that you don't want in your soul row, like I never want to put Orpheus in my soul row, so that brings me down to 26. I never want to put Flanagan in my soul row. That puts me down to 23. And I never want to put Capital Punishment in my soul row. So that puts me down to 20. So I have 5 more, technically, I guess, 5 more blue pips than I do white pips. And that efficiency isn't there for me. So I've always said that there's 2 cards, maybe 3, that I wish I could get rid of in order to replace with something better. And those cards are Theodore and Davy. And now I'm going to get a bunch of hate in the comment section because everybody loves Davy. But I feel like Davy is too slow. Turn 3, and it's when it enters the island, you get to return target citizen with soul cost 2 or less to its owner's hand. It's just late. Turn 3 is already kind of late, and it's so situational that what if they don't have a soul cost or 2 less? It's just not as good as Orpheus. And Orpheus is what this deck's really built around. Additionally, it being a mystic citizen doesn't interact with Flanagan at all, so it's really not even that great of a turn 3 play in my opinion, and I know I'm going to get a lot of slack for that in the comment section. But I've always said if I could get rid of Davy or maybe Theodore, and Theodore's not going to be the case because of another card that got spoiled because of the enter the battlefield effect. But what we've seen now is a card that really I'm really excited about, not because the card's good. And this is where I really love the design space of Kryptik. I'm not excited about this card because the card is particularly good. I'm excited about this card because it slots in best for the energy resource, the soul resource, as well as the efficiency of the deck, and that is this Timey, which is a Druid citizen, which is important. It's not a human, so it's not going to turn Flanagan on. Flanagan requires 3 other humans, so it is going to be not. I would not want to replace one of my humans here with this Taimi or whatever, but I think it does hit Davy really well because he has the white soul energy. And not only does he have, obviously there's other cards that have white soul energy, but he does things that are good for me. He's got sidestep, which is great. And sidestep in the game, you have to have it's basically flying. So it's essentially a flyer early game. This turn 2, I can play it on turn 1. It's a decent turn 1 play if I have that, if I don't need the soul. It's a decent turn 1 play because turn 2, I can then fly over top of you or sidestep you in order to deal the damage, which is efficient. So this is one of the things that I think is really cool about Kryptik, that this design space allows you to be excited about a common just because it fits in what you're trying to do, and it also is a more efficient energy resource for you. So I'm really excited about that. I think it'll be really interesting to see how this deck filters out. I'll pick up the other card that I don't like in this deck that much. Feathergraft is okay. Ferocious Ranks is okay, but they just put out another card that I think is better. I'll pull it up for you because it does the same. Again, it utilizes the resources. It utilizes the same resources as my Ferocious Ranks or Feathergraft, which is usually what I use these two. Ferocious Ranks is really great if you got Charlie or some heavier hitters in the deck. But because there's so many enter the battlefield effects and Ferocious Ranks doesn't trigger the entering of the battlefield, it's more of a pushing through the battlefield. It's just not that great of a card. You end up using it for resources most of the time. But Fervent Incantation is a card that is late game really good and can be detrimental to the opponent. If I can trigger, double Orpheus on enter, it's just a really good spell that then I can also use for the 2 cost. So at the end of the day, I just wanted to highlight that as a consumer of Kryptik, as somebody who builds decks and enjoys this product, it's really exciting to start to see spoiler season come out with these cards that make my deck more efficient. Not necessarily better, definitely better, but not necessarily because the card itself is better, but because it fits in the whole ecosystem of a single card, has multiple effects and interacts multiple times with the deck. So let me know what you think in the comment section below. Hopefully you are following along with Kryptik. I do have boxes available of Wicked Prophecy up at gamegrove.gg if you're interested in pre-ordering. And really excited to play around with this and to do some shenanigans. I think it comes out next month, like end of June. So really excited. So hopefully you have yourself a great day. Be kind to the people around you, and we will see you again next video.